And welcome to Huckabee from the Fox News studios in New York City, where we've got a great audience with us here today in the studio. But you know, after all the uproar over the allegations of sexual harassment by Herman Cain, I realized that I have been a victim of sexual harassment, and I didn't even know it. I fly through the Atlanta airport often, sometimes several days a week. Now, my favorite place for a quick meal on the go is the Popeyes Chicken in Terminal B. I like it because the food is quick and delicious, and especially I just adore the staff there because they speak the Southern language that I grew up on and still understand. But in light of the Herman Cain controversy, I realize it might not have been Southern gentility, but sexual harassment, because the ladies behind the counter called me honey, sweetie, and darling. Maybe instead of feeling at home, I should have been offended, called a lawyer, and demand free spicy chicken for life. I mean, I should have known something was inappropriate when they asked me if I wanted legs, breasts, or thighs. And then they wanted to know, did I want them spicy? Or what about when they asked if I wanted my tea sweetened? And all that time, I thought it was just a friendly transaction over some chicken, homemade biscuits, and Cajun rice. Of course, I need to wait 15 years before I work up the necessary outrage to come forward with the charges. And even then, I need to do it anonymously. So those nice ladies behind the counter are going to get dragged through muck-raking and mud-throwing media without even knowing who's accusing them. Well, look, I'm not making light of real sexual harassment, but the allegations against a man who's trying are far and away compared to the real-life actions of men who have actually been president and whose actions were not 15 years before they ran, but while in office. And the media wasn't this worked up over a white Democratic candidate who not only fathered a child with his staff or mistress while his wife was dying of cancer, but he paid to Huck using campaign money, then lied about the whole thing. I'm not too keen on anonymous allegations about things that happened years ago and suddenly surface in the most critical stage of an election. A highly partisan Democrat that I didn't retain in her $80,000 a year state job made totally false allegations that I had pressured the state parole police and inmate. But it took her 6 years to decide that. Oh, just before I was up for re-election. The staff member I'd fired for lying and probably, but then accused me of misusing state funds. So she was quite the talker to the press a month before my election, but when some Democrat activists actually filed a lawsuit against me based on her blathering, that meant she had to testify under oath during depositions. And when confronted with telling the truth or perjuring herself, she pleaded the Fifth Amendment so as not to incriminate herself. Now, the lawsuit against me was dropped, and those who filed it had to admit there was not a bit of truth in it. It was just their curiosity based on reading some news accounts of the disgruntled and dismissed ex-employee. We obviously have real issues in this country, like raging unemployment, foreclosures for many homeowners, small business operators going belly up, and a national debt that's destroying our future. Surely those issues matter a whole lot more than a Southern man called an employee sweetie 15 years ago. Well, that's my view, and I welcome yours.